Al, we got some games to preview, and
Mm-hmm.
then we got a game to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff happening this week.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Al, and Lady This is
Hello.
episode 389, and we are going to talk about that Sony State of Play that happened last week, and also Al experienced Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and we're going to talk about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Sony's out here. They're getting the first big game thing of the summer out of the way. Some of that stuff I think we'll have started by the time this podcast goes up. We'll talk about most of that stuff next week
Mm-hmm.
because it'll happen like over the weekend and all that. So yeah, we'll dive into the summer game fest and all that in a week's time. But for now, let's talk about this State of Play. They started off with a game called Concord, which, if you looked at it at first, it looked like, oh, this is an interesting looking sci-fi story game. And then immediately they're like, all right, here's the developers to talk about it. They're like, all right, Concord, it's a 5v5 multiplayer game. I was like, oh, come on.
I
Come
immediately zoned
on.
out. Immediately zoned out. I was like,
It's a
never
hero
mind.
shooter because people are clamoring to play games that are just like Overwatch again, like it's 2017 all over.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
no, that's
I
not the
mean,
case. People don't even
that's
want to
what's
play
happening with
Overwatch
that.
anymore.
People don't want to play Overwatch, and then there's that like Marvel one coming out that no one wants to play.
Well, you can't say anything bad about it. Have you signed the
No, you
NDA?
can.
Don't sign the NDA.
I'm not signing the NDA. That game.
So yeah, 5v5 hero shooter. I was like, whatever. They're like, oh, but we're gonna do like weekly story cutscenes for you. It's like, no one's
Fart
gonna
noises.
care.
Fart noises.
They're doing a beta in July for that, and that's coming out in August on August 23rd. And they are charging money for that, I think. So that's even
Ooh.
worse, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't see that having a good lifespan or maybe even surviving a year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
After that, they showed off God of War Ragnarok coming to the personal computer. That's
That
coming out on
PC.
September 19th. It's got all the PC stuff you want, ultra widescreen, fancy graphic settings, all that on your personal computer. After that, Al missed this because a kitty distracted her, but it's time to go back to the beginning
The
of
beginning,
the
the
Omega
origins.
Force. Dynasty Warriors Origins. Where I
I
guess
don't know what that origins part means, but
you get to play as your own maybe created character or just a original character.
hmm
It's coming out next year. Do not pursue Lu Bu.
I'm gonna pursue Lubu.
And I hope they include some stuff from the live action Dynasty Warriors film, of course, as they should. Yeah, that's sure. New Dynasty Warriors. That it seems like that's about time for that. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it probably.
not enough ripping guitars in this trailer, though.
There were not enough. I would have immediately stopped paying attention to a kitty if I heard the ripping
True,
guitars.
but with the power of the PlayStation 5, there's probably going to be way more dudes on screen for you to just hack and slash. So that seems like a pretty good.
I'm here
Pretty
for
good.
that.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit. I do hope that there's like still some of the characters you can play as and story and all that fun stuff.
hmm
But yeah, they definitely should have more ripping guitars and then I think it
Horses
was
going
YouTube
up
on
waterfalls.
that man, you can't beat Dynasty Warriors 7 for me as like the greatest video game opening to ever exist. I've even showed that to like my students of like, look how great this is. Is it historically accurate?
Yes.
Absolutely not. Nothing about this is
That's how
historically
the Yellow
accurate.
Turban Rebellion took place.
That's not even the Yellow Turban railing. That's the different. Um, but even like in that opening, it's like that gal, she doesn't even exist in the documentation. She's they just made her up. But it's fine because look at this horse get kicked in the face and then like go wild and walking on the side of the wall and then surfing down a waterfall and a baby goes flying.
That's all you need.
God, Dynasty Warriors 7 is the best opening in video games of all time.
Yeah, I mean that's all you
Dynasty
need to
Warriors
know.
7. That's all you need to know. And yeah, I definitely want more guitars. Like that's one thing that I feel like this trailer was absolutely missing. I went back and watched it later, by the way.
Yeah, of course. After that, we get a debut of Infinity Nikki, or Nikkei probably. This is a new game in the Love Nikkei series, which is a bunch of like dress-up games on mobile. Which apparently is going to be like open world and all that sort of stuff. And then like there's a weird dark undertone to this at the end of that trailer. I was like, huh?
Nah.
What's going on here? They're doing a test in Q3 of 2024. And that's about all the info we have on it.
I'm trying to remember which developer made this. Do you remember?
I think it's just the people who make those games in general.
Yeah, but they make something else too, I'm pretty sure.
Let me look here. Developer.
Is it the same one that made Mr. Love? Yeah, Paper Games. That's what I thought. And Love in Deep Space.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, look forward to questionable decision making in this game, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, okay. I thought I was right about that.
So there's that. After that, we got a new game called Ballad of Ontara. It is a dark fantasy action RPG where you're a dude with a sword and there's a small child on your back, and then there's a lady with a bow. That's about it. Hang out with this small kid. Time to go into the world of VR.
Oh, great.
We saw Skydance's Behemoth. This is a new game from the people who made The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. It looked like a VR game. That's about it. They're also making an Alien game for VR called Alien Rogue Incursion. Which sure that makes sense.
Yeah.
After that, they showed off Marvel Rivals. This is the Marvel hero shooter that we talked about a little bit earlier. There is a closed beta coming to the PlayStation 5 soon. If you'll get a PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man skin if you participate. But just don't say anything bad about that.
Don't say anything bad
don't
about
say
it.
anything bad about it. You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
Yeah. It
only
looks
say nice
whatever.
things about it. Don't compare it to Overwatch either because you'll get banned.
I'm gonna start comparing it to Battleborn.
I mean, did they say you couldn't?
Well, maybe they forgot about it. So I'm gonna see how hobby grade this is. After that, we got more on Where Winds Meet. This was debuted in January. It is another Souls-like action RPG game. They keep making a lot of these now, it seems, for sure.
Yep, they sure do.
There's that. They showed off the Until Dawn remake. It looks just like Until Dawn, so there's nothing really new there, but like it's, being rebuilt for PS5 and PC, so it'll look better, run better, and all that jazz.
Does this need a remake?
Probably not, but
I'm just curious.
it's a fun game. It is a
haven't played it,
10-year-old
so.
game, so
Right. I haven't played it, so I don't know any answers to these.
Well, look forward to getting monked this fall.
Getting monked?
Getting monked, yes.
What?
When you play Until Dawn, or when I play Until Dawn for you.
There you go. That's the correct
You
answer.
will learn what getting monked means.
Okay.
Let's see here. Path of Exile 2 got a trailer. It's Path of Exile. They should have this trailer should have just been a giant skill tree, and that's that, because that's all I remember from Path of Exile is a giant skill tree. Yeah, this is going into early access on the PS5 later this year. But sure.
Sure.
They showed off Silent Hill 2 remake, some new stuff from that. Not a terrible trailer like the first time they showed it. Still very action oriented.
It is very action oriented. And I know there's been a lot of controversy over Maria's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Because genuinely everyone, including like the weird horny dudes and also like people who understand the story of Silent Hill 2 are like, her like her outfit was kind of the point. And it's bad when like you have those people agreeing
The
with
chuds
you.
and normal people are handshaking
Or
here.
or handshaking. Yeah, like that's a problem. You did something horribly wrong when that's the situation.
Uh,
Um, but they're right, that was the point when they took that away because they're like, no, we can't have her look sexy.
I don't.
Which I mean, like, no one in a whatever leopard print pink skirt. No, that's not sexy. That's never sexy.
I would also say I thought the voice acting didn't sound great either in that trailer.
Nah, no, it
So
didn't.
that's also not good. That's coming out October 8th. So I guess we'll see
Okay.
how that whole ends up. A new trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds was here. This is coming out in 2025. There was that big frog with the big tongue.
Blech.
Big monsters and everything. Yeah, it's Monster
I'm
Hunter.
a big monster.
No, not you. Shush.
I am the big monster.
Shush.
Rawr.
But yeah, more Monster Hunter for the Monster Hunter folks out there. And then they ended up with their final thing, a new Astrobot game coming out September 6th, a full-fledged thing, kind of basing it off of the free game that comes with PS5s and all that sort of stuff, but this will be a paid-for game this time around, but it's like much more expanded. There's a lot more levels, a lot more stuff to do and all that sort of stuff. It looked great. It was a breath of fresh air to see a game with like colors compared to everything else in this, which was just a lot of grays and browns.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Yeah, I really like that free game they put out with the PS5, and I would assume
It was so good.
I would assume this is going to be just as great. So
I would assume so too.
yeah, so that comes out, I say, in September. So there's that, and that is their state of play.
We've been state of play.
Yeah, Sony. It's a Sony thing, so usually that's how I feel after all of them. It's just like, yeah, that sure happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one or two things I'm like, oh, that seems cool, and everything else I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've got.
I mean, this one was definitely the one that I was like, all right, I'm in on that. I'm in on that.
Yeah,
I got you. And everything else, I was like, except for Dynasty Warriors, I'll play that.
I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more of that over the weekend.
Dynasty Warriors?
No, like more games. We're just kind of like, eh.
Oh.
Uncle Jeff's did tell us that, to temper your expectations with the Summer Game Fest, because it's just not that many big things to announce right now. And I wonder why that is. It's a real big mystery. If only someone with a lot of authority and a big voice could do something about it, or like say something about it. But if only that was the case.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Ow!
Me.
We did an episode a long while back. I should look up
One of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
see what episode number that was and when we did that. Where
Legit one of my favorites.
basically I had you guess what happens in Dragon Ball Z.
Correct.
And it turned out you were like half right most of the time.
Yep.
Yes, this was episode number 84, which we did in July of 2018, nearly 6 years ago.
Wow, was it really that long ago?
Yes, and
Ooh.
the reason we did this episode is because a lot of times when we would go to watch JoJo on television, Dragon Ball would be airing before it, and every time you would like watch the like final couple of minutes of an episode of Dragon Ball, you'd be like, "What is going on with this show? What is happening here?"
It's a valid question.
So we basically decided, hey, let's do an episode about this and see if Al can learn about Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened in that episode. And now you have actually seen, for the most part, Dragon Ball Z through this video game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Correct. I have gotten the gist of the plot of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Because it basically is a pretty mainline
Condensed version.
condensed version of the events of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the fillers gone. They pretty much like just give you the bullet points of what happens. Like, don't really like go into a lot of detail per se in certain areas. There's a whole encyclopedia you get where it's like terms and all that sort of stuff, and like when you go through like the story bits, it'll be like, hey, here's exactly what happened like in the TV show that we didn't include in here. Or like, oh, this person did this, and this, and this happened and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, you really didn't want to like just include everything, did you? Obviously, if you did that, it would be a very, very, very long game.
Right. It would be very, very long.
Yeah. But yeah, we did this. I bought this game a while back.
Yes.
To play it.
It's been a long time.
And I thought it would be funny if you just joined me on the ride to watch me play through this game, because I just figured I should eventually play through this game at some point and get it over with, and that's kind of just what I did. And you were along for the ride, and we got to experience the world of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Yes. This game came out originally in 2020, before the pandemic.
Wow.
So no surprising. On January 17th, 2020 for the PS4, Xbox One, and personal computer. It came out on the Switch on September 24th, 2021. Came out on the Google Stadia on October 26th, 2021. The PS5 on January 13th, 2023. And the Xbox Series X and S on February 3rd, 2023. This game has about let's say averaging out to about a 75 out of 100 on the Metacritic for all the different versions.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. In its first week in Japan, it was the second best-selling game with 89,537 units being sold, behind Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh.
And then in the UK, it debuted at number 1 on the sales chart. This says by December 2021, it has sold over 4.5 million copies worldwide.
Wow.
Which is a lot, and that's like 2.5 years ago, so probably sold more copies since then. And then it was the best-selling game of January 2020 in the US, and had the third highest-selling launch month for a game in the Dragon Ball franchise, behind Dragon Ball FighterZ and Dragon Ball Z Budokai. So yeah, pretty successful game for the Bandai Namco. Let's talk a little bit about the development of this game, because there's not a whole lot here. It's mostly just like, hey, they put this out on a bajillion consoles. This game was announced in January 2019 via trailer during the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour Finals under the working title Dragon Ball Game Project Z. They should have just kept that name.
They should have.
Described as an action role-playing game, the game was said to be in development by CyberConnect 2, known for their work on Asura's Wrath and the Naruto Ultimate Ninja series for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC through Steam. Although initially targeting 2019 release, the final title, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and the early 2020 release window were announced during Microsoft's 2019 E3 conference, and then, like I said, they put it out on a bajillion systems. There's a bunch of DLC for the game, where they do DLCs for the 2 movies that they put out in the 2010s, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. There is a DLC. There's 2 DLCs going over the OVAs they made during the time of Dragon Ball Z. The one that goes through the Bardock Saga, which is about Goku's dad, and then the one where you go and see Future Trunks' timeline and all the bad stuff that happens there. But there's also some extra stuff in that DLC where they expand upon it a little bit. With stuff that happened in the manga of Dragon Ball Super, where Future Trunks goes and like tries to make sure Majin Buu doesn't show up, essentially. So that's interesting. And then they also have a DLC that covers the final parts of Dragon Ball, the 23rd World Tournament, and then the final bit of DLC that came out earlier this year is basically the final episode of Dragon Ball Z, where you get the time jump and everything, and Goku fights Oob, and then it's like, I gotta go, see you later.
Oob.
And yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z. It is what you expect. The gameplay is okay. It's a behind the back third person anime fighting game you know what those are. I mean, there's RPG elements because you level up and everything. You have skill trees to get your special attacks and all that sort of stuff. You can fish, which was very useful to you, except you couldn't fish, unfortunately.
It's if it wouldn't let me fish. It's really rude.
Real big bummer on that front. Yeah, it's a Dragon Ball game. You go through the entire story of Dragon Ball Z, which a lot of Dragon Ball games have done. Let me tell you, I have played a lot of Dragon Ball games that have just been the retelling of Dragon Ball Z over and over and over and over and over again. So that's not necessarily a new avenue, but I think this game's okay. Like, if you want the experience of Dragon Ball Z and like don't want to rewatch the entirety of the series, like, this is a pretty okay way to get all that experience, because like, you know, you get the big scenes when you want them, and they are like, you know, well animated and all that sort of stuff, because, you know, the consoles are pretty good at doing that and everything. So it does what it needs to do, essentially. So, and you can have Goku drive a car and run people over.
It's dangerous. It's a bad idea.
You are a dangerous driver.
You are a dangerous driver.
But really, the one reason I wanted to talk about this game is not because I want to talk about the game in general. I wanted to hear Al's thoughts about Dragon Ball Z now that you have experienced it in full. Which I guess to be clarified, you probably saw the beginning parts of this game when I streamed it like way back when.
Yes.
Probably don't really remember a whole lot of that, which is fine because that was like a couple years ago. But for the most part, we did the Frieza saga up to the end. So that's kind of what you got to see recently. So Al, how was your experience with Dragon Ball Z?
Okay. So I've had thoughts on this since we finished, and I've been trying to figure out how do I get these thoughts out there into the world and have them make sense.
Yes.
Everybody's still Goku. Like, literally everybody has same face.
What about Krillin and his daughter?
Okay, so Krillin and his daughter have skin-colored eyeballs.
Except when his daughter doesn't have skin-colored eyeballs.
When she grows up, then she gets white somehow. And I'm like, what?
She had to grow into her pupils or irises or the whites of her eyes, whatever it is.
Okay, so I will say I do know the characters a little bit better now. Like, I can actually identify who is who now.
Well, for the most part.
For the most part.
Some of the minor characters, you're still kind of just like, who's that? Who's that? Especially when Yamcha shows up every 5 seconds with like a new haircut, and you're just like, who is this guy?
I was literally about to say that guy that I was like, I never knew who he was.
I mean, that's fair.
He would just like change shirts or change his hair. And I'm just like, who the are you? Get out of here. I don't know you. And then you're like, yeah, you do. He's Yamcha. I'm like, oh. And then 5 minutes later, he shows up in a different outfit. Who the is that guy? But point being, I mostly can identify who they are now.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be the least controversial statement in the entire world. Are you ready?
Yes.
I with Vegeta.
Yeah, let's go.
I love Vegeta. He's my favorite character far and away.
That's right.
That dude is a menace to society. He's hilarious. He's just a troll full of like sarcasm and nonsense. And I'm like, he has so much of an ego that just gets knocked down, and he's got such like short king energy. My God, I love Vegeta.
I am thoroughly glad that both 34-year-old me and 10-year-old me are elated with this.
If there is nothing else I will take away from Dragon Ball, the thing that I will take away is that I with Vegeta.
I mean, to be fair, he has like the best character growth throughout the entire series, which I mean,
absolutely,
because he's there through the entire series. But yeah, he does have a really good arc.
He has a really good arc, but he also, you know, he has his flaws that stick by him the whole time. And you know, he definitely has an inferiority complex. And I was like, you know, I get that, man. I get that. I get you.
We gotta watch the Dragon Ball Super episode where he takes his family to the amusement park.
Oh my God, I would love to see that.
It's pretty good.
Still trying to figure out where he got the Riz to pull Bulma, but somehow he did that and had multiple children with her. S- that part I'm still a little like, how?
Two stubborn people getting stuck together for a long time.
You know what? That's fair. She's probably like, you know what? He's in that room all the time and he's just here.
I mean, she went from Yamcha to Vegeta. It's a pretty big
Upgrade?
step up and an upgrade, yes.
Huge upgrade. I mean, like, at least I could remember who Vegeta is.
I mean, it helps he doesn't change his hair every 5 seconds.
I mean, that is true, but even still, and he's got that sweet Batman
Oh,
shirt.
it's so good. So
Like, I was
good.
even joking with you, like, I want to make a Batman outfit at some point if I can figure out how to do it, where I could have like a Batman, like, pink shirt with like a yellow skirt.
Hmm.
It'd be pretty funny. Um, so yeah, that's my uncontroversial take. I Vegeta is it.
Hmm. You got to watch
He's my
that
dude.
fantastic AMV set to Creed's My Sacrifice when he does
I
the
did.
ultimate sacrifice in the Majin Buu saga.
Does nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He's doing his best.
He is doing his best, but he died for nothing. Ah.
My
Um,
sacrifice.
um, man, yeah, Vegeta's good. I like him. I like him a lot. He's just an absolute goblin of a man,
Hmm.
and I'm here for that. So Vegeta, he's good. Piccolo, better dad than Goku could ever even hope to be.
Yep, 100%.
I like Piccolo. He's a good man. I also like how like he's just a straight shooter for the most part.
Yeah.
Like people ask him to do something, he's like, "Why? Why am I doing this?" Or like he's supposed to take care of the kids. It's like, "Yeah, okay. I'll do a better job than you would, so sure, why not?"
It's very good in
Um,
Super where like one of the first episodes they're like talking like Gohan and him are talking or like something like that and they're like yeah, Piccolo, he babysits Pan all the time for us, when we're out and about and need help. He's always around to help. And it's like, yeah, that's right.
yeah, that sounds about right.
The real grandpa's
Um,
he's not the step
he,
grandpa, he's the grandpa that stepped up.
basically, yeah. I mean, he's not the one that ran off to go like, I don't know, raise a kid that he just met. So I mean, like Piccolo's a real one.
Mhm.
Goku should be paying him child support, but I don't think Goku has a job. So
There's a brief point in Super where he has a job.
what does he
He's a
do?
farmer.
Okay, yeah, that's the only job I could really see him doing. I don't know. Maybe he could be a delivery man or something. I'm just trying to think of what kind of job that Goku could do that like he could actually focus on and that he wouldn't just like run away from.
It's a great
And
question.
I can't think of a single one. Um, I also like Gohan,
Yeah.
academic Goku.
Gohan's another one where you
He's
get a good character arc throughout because you get to see
yeah,
him
he
grow
had, he
up.
had a nice art. You get to see him where he ends up wearing glasses and having a nice
You
library.
got to see him go from child to academic Goku.
I did and get a girl in the process.
Yeah.
See, like him having the Riz, I get. Like I could see him pulling the gal. I'm still like, Vegeta, how did you do it?
It's that princely energy he brings.
I guess so, man. He just like he's got that kingness to him. Um I so Frieza was fine,
Yeah.
I guess. Um I still like the little green man that we picked up from that planet, but he
Dende.
ended up getting Yeah, he ends up getting big at one point, and then he's back small, and I don't know why
Yeah,
that
that was
happened.
weird. Do you obviously your favorite thing from the Frieza saga was that cutscene where the Namekian had his head gone for no reason, which was just a fantastic little bug that we were able to experience.
You can confirm to the listeners right now, like I couldn't
It's
breathe.
true.
I was laughing so hard. Like I lost it. It was so funny. I hope you have a screenshot of that you could use for
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
image
yeah.
for this week. But like, he had no head, and it was just like this whole dramatic cutscene with this man with no head. Just
He's just standing there.
so
Oh man.
good. That was my favorite part of the Frieza saga. You're not wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like the Frieza saga I think is kind of like just it's the turning point for Dragon Ball Z where they get away from like power levels and all that sort of stuff and like it's the turn of like transformations becoming the big thing as opposed to like what Dragon
Hmm.
Ball was and all that sort of stuff. So it's like the big like we are just building like the transformation superpower arms race between the good guys and the bad guys essentially.
Yeah, I mean, even to the point where they were like breaking the things that would tell you the power
Yeah.
levels. So I was like, oh, okay.
And then they're literally like, "Oh, we got to invent a thing where like we can just sense power levels now. We don't need scouters or anything like that."
Nope. He's got to be able to sense it. But yeah, they get Super Saiyan,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually we get Super Saiyan 2. Is that what it was called?
Yes.
And Super Saiyan 3.
Yep. Where you lose your eyebrows, not eyeballs.
I You don't lose your eyeballs, you
Long
lose your
hair, no
eyebrows.
eyebrows. It's a very weird design
Um,
choice.
it is a very strange. I don't like the way that they look in 3. It's just weird. But that's not my choice. Um, I I think the naming scheme is a little goofy.
For
Like you're unless you're just telling me that Goku invented the names, in which case it's like, yeah, that makes perfect
it,
sense
it would
because it's
probably make
Goku and
sense.
he's an idiot. So he's like, I'm Super Saiyan now, but now I'm better Super Saiyan. So now I'm Super Saiyan 2. It would have been funnier if he was just better Super Saiyan.
He comes out and he's like Super Saiyan 2, like the Peggle 2 guy.
Yeah. Oh man. Can I talk about Vegeta again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump a little bit because I'm gonna talk a little bit about Cell Saga?
Yeah.
Cell. Um, Seeing him turn around on the whole like Trunks thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Peak.
Mm-hmm.
First she's like, man, who's this kid? Who is this loser? I don't like this kid at all. Get out of here. What you talking about? Go. And then after the whole like training room situation where he's like, sure, you did all right, kid. And then like during the fight sequences and then Trunks get hurt and he's just like, I'm gonna you up now. That's my kid. I don't know you.
I think that Vegeta scene at the end of the Cell fight is very good because it does two things really well there. One, like you said,
Okay.
it shows that he actually cares about Trunks when Trunks dies, and like when he
Yes.
goes ballistic on Cell. And two,
Yes.
when Gohan is doing the Kamehameha battle with Cell at that point, when Vegeta hits Cell in the face with like an energy blast and then yells at Gohan to finish it off, like it's Vegeta
Hmm.
like acknowledging someone else,
Yes.
and it's like this is good.
It's
This is
good.
good.
Vegeta does like literally everything that I'm like, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good moment. Um, yeah, because okay, you're aware of this. I hate the design of Cell.
He's a real.
He, he's like he goes from having like a beak to having whatever those lips are to just being a weirdo, and he's got like a weird like condom sucker tail thing, and then it just becomes his butt.
Uh,
And
can I tell you
oof.
in Fortnite there is a Cell model you can play as, which is it has its original Cell and then perfect Cell, and then
Uh-huh.
you get a back bling of the like cicada shell that he pops out of.
Oh my
This is
God.
pretty good.
It's pretty funny. I feel like the androids were like played up as something that were gonna be really cool, and then they weren't.
Yeah, they're
They
the bait and switch of that arc.
yeah, they absolutely are. The best thing about the androids is that Krillin's like, oh, I'm gonna
I want to
android.
this android.
And he does!
Sure
Good
does.
for Krillin. Good for Krillin. He's like, you know what? I know what I want. I'm going for it. He wants to save him because she gives him a little smooch on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, Krillin definitely has the most riz out of anybody here.
He is the most powerful human in the world.
And then he gets that stupid haircut and loses all the
And
riz.
then in Super, he becomes a cop briefly.
Ew.
It's
ACAB.
unfortunate. But yeah, he
Ugh.
does have the bad haircut, which is very funny.
Why would you go to that haircut? Why? Just keep shaving your head, my guy.
He's like, I
Like,
want some
whew.
hair. I don't want to burn my head. My daughter's gonna think I'm lame.
Just wear a hat.
Um,
Sunscreen. Some not that hair.
and then you like barely ever
Blech.
see 17 after that. I don't know how much he's in like the Boo saga in general, because like that's the saga I've seen the least out of all of them. Because like I've only really seen it once when it was airing on TV,
Uh-huh.
and haven't really gone back and watched it. But then like we see him like very briefly at the end of this, where like during the
He's just barely
he's
there.
just like, oh, everyone's giving their energy to Goku. I guess I'll help, and that's it. That's all you
Yeah.
see.
That's it. That's it.
He does get a more prominent role in Super,
Okay.
so he does show back up in that. But like in this, it was just like, oh yeah, by the way, you exist. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like his sister's bonking Krillin
Yeah, and part of
and
and
getting
basically a part of the team now.
yeah, and getting like a kid with no whites in her eyes. Man, when we got that quest, I was like, who is that? And you're like, oh, you'll see.
Yeah,
You'll see who that is. When we got there, I was like, what? Krillin as a kid?
with
With
who?
who? And then it revealed with who. I was like, what?
It's very good.
My God. Didn't expect that. But yeah, Cell was I hate his design, but he was a terrifying enemy.
Yeah.
He was big scary, and he had that little little arena he built.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he basically like destroyed the world. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And then we get to destroy the world again
Yeah.
with Boo,
With Pink Man.
with Bubblegum
Mm-hmm.
Man. My mom was trying to tell Keller what game I was playing, and she's like, it had a Bubblegum Man because that's what I described him as. And
It's like,
Keller's
huh?
like, I have no idea what that is. And I told her, I was like, tell him it's Dragon Ball Z. Okay, that makes more sense. He's a bubblegum man. I his that version of Boo, his voice, hate it.
Because he sounds like
Hate it.
Ted.
Yes. He sounds just like Toad from Mario. And so it freaks me out that Ted is basically trying to like
Take over the world, murder
take
people.
over the world and commit genocide. Like there's just something horribly wrong with that.
Well, that's the only version of Boo that remains, so going forward.
I know. I mean, it's good for the sake of the world, I guess, because like he loves Mr. Satan and B, his dog.
Mm-hmm. This is
So
his
like
pals.
if there is a version of Boo that's gonna remain, it should be that one. But like, I hope he just doesn't talk to me anymore. Um, it was fine.
Yeah.
I was really confused about all the different versions of Boo.
Mm-hmm.
It's Majin Buu, right?
So like that's like what people like kind of classify Big Boo as, Like that's just Majin Buu, and then the skinnier, taller one is Super Buu, and then the littler one is Kid Buu
Why is he named Kid
because
Boo?
he's small like a kid. That's how I've always interpreted it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
So what did you say that the Toad one's name is?
That's Majin Buu.
Majin Buu. Okay, so he's just vanilla Majin Buu.
Yeah.
And then there's Kid Buu.
Mm-hmm. And Super Buu in between.
Super Buu in between. And that's when he's absorbing
Yeah,
people's.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, some of this arc felt weird because there was just like stuff we did that was pointless. Like Gohan gets really leveled up and then he just gets eaten.
Yeah.
And then we have like Vegeta and Goku are going to fuse and it's permanent, but then it's not permanent and it barely does anything. And they like played it up as like this is gonna be a really good thing. Whoa! And it wasn't. And then like the fusion dance thing basically turned out to do nothing really. So it felt like there was a lot of like power-ups that happened in this part. And Super Saiyan 3 happened in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But like none of them really did anything or mattered.
Yeah.
The only thing that mattered was Goku getting support from people of Earth.
Yeah, I wonder how much like watching the actual series compared to this would be different.
Right.
Because like I said, I haven't watched this in 20 years. Watched this part of
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Z, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But yeah, it's the Buu Saga is a little weird. Like there's good moments
Yeah.
and everything, but like there's also just like weird stuff thrown in there as well.
Hmm.
But yeah. I mean, at least Mr. Satan gets to come in and be useful.
That's true.
Just very funny after kind of just being a gag character in the previous saga. He just like he gets to show up and like actually help. Befriends Boo. He makes sure all the people actually give their energy to Goku because Vegeta failed and Goku failed. And Mr. Satan's like, "This is Mr. Satan. I gotta tell you guys, well, I'm fighting Boo right now, and I'm gonna whoop his butt. But I need your help. I need you to give your energy to help me out here, or else I'm not gonna be able to beat his butt." Just cutting
Mr.
pro wrestling
Satan.
promos.
Mr. Satan.
This- oh yes, I forgot the cheer.
Mr. Satan.
Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan.
Most awkward cheer in the world.
It's very good.
And it sounds like four people doing
Yeah.
it. It's like trying to indicate that like the whole city's doing it. It's just like Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan with four people. And
Yeah.
it's like y'all didn't even try to do this chant,
No.
man.
But I think that part's fun. And also just like
No, it's
it
fun.
helps Mr. Satan as well, like get really like introduced to Goku and Vegeta and like the rest of the gang because like he's very much going to be
Which is good because it's about to be family.
they're about to be family and he needs to know a lot about them and everything and like hey, they'll help him out in terms of the World Martial Arts Tournament and help throw in fights, for him to keep winning and everything and all that. So it's a win-win for everyone.
It's pretty good.
And he like
Pretty good.
he's very supportive. He's like, in the DLC we get to see him being very excited when like Pan shows up and all that sort of stuff. He loves Videl. He seems very cool with like Goku and Gohan, so like,
It's legit.
he's living his best life.
He is living his best life. Good for him, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really funny though. Am I missing anything?
Was there anything you want to talk about from that final DLC, which is like the epilogue?
Oh, right, the epilogue. Goku abandons his family.
Yeah.
Bro, what? What do you mean?
I gotta go train this guy, so see you later, everyone.
No. No, you don't. He just leaves.
He's out of here.
He's terrible. So that's no bueno. Hate that. Um, then we've got, academic Gohan, with his family living next door in his sweet library
It's
and
a lot of
his like
books.
his toddler.
Yeah.
The first time that kid ran up, was like, Grandpa. I was like, Grandpa? Huh? Huh? What? Um, yeah, that kid just wants to beat up.
Yeah.
Good for her, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Vegeta's just peak in this arc too. It's really funny. He's just the one time that he like launches that guy away, he's like, all right, my dude's eliminated. Like, anyway,
Very
see you at the next
good.
round. It's so funny. It's so funny.
And he just shows up in like his sweats. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, he's just in his sweats. He's like fully dad mode at this point, but he's like, I'm still gonna beat the hell out of you, Goku.
He is super dad mode at this point.
It's so good. Yeah, because he's got the little girl too now.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. Um, get Goten, who had to cancel his date. Poor dude.
Goten is just struggling through puberty as Goku's like, come on, let's go fight. Come on.
Let's go
He's
fight.
like, no.
No. Like, can you imagine being this kid where, like, for the first 6 years of your life, your dad's dead, and then he just shows up and he's like, all right, cool, we're gonna fight everybody now. Yay! Also, I need to teach you how to do a dance so you can fuse, because you're kind of in charge of saving the world, kid. Anyway, I gotta go because I'm still dead. Bye. Woo!
Psych, I'm back.
And yeah, now I'm back. Woo! And then, like, he's around for a few years and he exists, and I guess you get to know him a little bit, and then he just like off to go train some other kid. Like, Goten's gonna need so much therapy.
I mean, at least he's got a decent brother and a decent mom.
Yeah. Okay, so I was joking, like, how did Vegeta pull Bulma? How the hell did Goku pull Chi-Chi? Because she's legit.
We gotta watch
That
Dragon Ball
woman
to find that out.
She has the patience of a saint. All she wants is to hang out with him and to make some food and for him to get a job, maybe go on a car ride occasionally. Like, she doesn't ask for much. She wants him to be alive. She doesn't ask for much.
She wants him to be alive.
I mean,
Not wrong.
she does. Also, like, hilarious to me that it was implied that, like, Gohan goes and like does his other stuff, and he's like, yeah, my parents could go hang out on their little picnic together and it's fine. And it's like, oh my God, that's when little brother was made. My goodness. Wow, good thing you didn't show up, kid. You went and hung out with Bulma instead.
Yep.
um but yeah, Goten's gonna need a lot of therapy. Honestly, Gohan might need therapy too, but I think Piccolo was at least trying to do a good job with him.
Yeah.
So, there's that. He tried.
Did try.
But yeah, now Goku's just off into the universe training Oob.
Oob.
Oob. Sure, why not? Why not? Goku remains a terrible parent and grandparent. And it is pretty funny that Goku's like, all right, little kid, you can go beat up people. Mr. Satan's like, yo, she's 4, right? Like, is this a good idea? Goku's like, it's fine. It's fine. She wants to fight. It's all good.
I mean, to be fair, I think Goku would at least be the authority in this situation of like knowing if she was ready or not.
I know. I'm just saying that.
But
like,
it is funny.
Mr. Satan's at least like, Yo, she's 4.
Maybe we shouldn't be doing this early.
Maybe we should like, I don't know, let her observe. She's quite small, but then she does just absolutely throttle that dude. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's all good. Still not as funny as Vegeta just knocking that dude into the wall and be like, "All right, he's out. Goodbye. I'll see you in round 2." Nothing can beat that. Nothing can beat that.
uh,
Um, but yeah, it's a really weird way to end everything to be like, "All right, well, I'm leaving. Bye." Like, huh? That's how you're gonna end it?
that's how it ends.
And that's how everything ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the final point in the timeline of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because of course, like they made GT afterwards, but that's become non-canon now.
Right.
And
That's the mustache Vegeta.
yes, and then Super exists now, but that takes place in between the end of the Buu saga and the beginning of that.
Right. But like this is the actual canonical final plot point end of the series.
Yes.
And that's such a like wet fart of an ending to be like, all right, I'm leaving. What?
But he has no thoughts head empty, so
Oh, he is very head empty. He is so head empty. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's where I am at the moment.
do you feel better or worse now knowing what Dragon Ball Z is now compared to where you were before?
I feel happy that I can now appreciate Vegeta.
And that's all you really need.
That's really all I need.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the other stuff, take it or leave it, whatever. That man, he makes the entirety of Dragon Ball Z worth it. Period. The end. Full stop.
There you go.
I can actually call him by his name now instead of just Vegetable Goku or Widow's Peak
Mm-hmm.
Goku because he is better than Goku.
You know what I got to say to that?
What?
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
I'm so sad that wasn't in the
Aw,
game.
man, me too. What a bummer.
I'm so sad that wasn't in the game.
We got Goku and Piccolo getting their driver's licenses, but we didn't get
Yeah.
Mondo cool.
Mondo Cool would have been so
It
funny.
would have been very good. But yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in a nutshell.
So is this the reaction you thought you would get?
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
All right. Legit. I'll take
I'm
that.
very pleased.
Yay.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. Next week, like we said, we'll dive into a lot of game previews from all the different events and everything. So we got that to look forward to. But for now, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. It's where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love Life Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early, and a whole wealth of bonus content as well. And yeah, next week we will spend some time with our good buddy Jeff Keighley.
Is he our good buddy? Is he?